Invincible versus Thragg's final battle in the sun is the most epic fight in the entire comic series, and honestly, one of the greatest final battles of all time. Now, you might think that other fights like Battle Beast versus Thragg deserve that title. I don't really blame you. This shit is pure testosterone. Freddie Mercury versus Mufasa will always stand as one of the most brutal battles ever. But I think Mark's final battle against Thragg tops them all for one reason: the narrative. Because this one doesn't focus on showing blood and guts splattering across panels to impress us. Instead, it reflects the intensity and pressure this fight carries for Mark through its scenery, colors, and of course, its dialogues. So yeah, in this video I'll break down Invincible versus Thragg's finale, and explain why I think it's not only the most epic fight in the series, but one of the greatest finales in comic history. If you're dumber than Powerplex and haven't figured it out yet, this video will contain spoilers, so let's begin. Thragg made his own army of mini-Olivers after spending quite a few years banging Thraxans, and now he's using them to get revenge on Nolan and Mark for taking away his position as leader. The Viltrumites, who have already found a family on Earth, arrive to fight Thragg, but this guy just shows up holding 2 Ragnars like it's nothing. The same dogs whose favorite hobby is munching on Viltrumite heads, Thragg somehow managed to make them his pets. He kills some of his former allies with them while his half-breed children attack the rest. Then, Mark and Nolan arrive at the battle. Mark goes for Thragg's children while Nolan goes straight for the main course. Although he manages to land a few solid punches, he's quickly dog-walked by Thragg, who even mocks him, saying he should have killed him when he had the chance. Nolan suddenly goes for a punch in the face, but he ends up splattering his own hand upon hitting Thragg's powerful hairline. Yep, Nolan is cooked. Mark realizes his dad is in trouble and charges at Thragg to stop him, but he tells him it's still not his turn and throws him back towards his children. Just as he was returning to finish him off, Nolan manages to break his nose, but Thragg is done playing around, so he pierces his hand right through his chest. He notices Nolan moved at the last second to protect his heart, which momentarily impressed him. But just when you thought there was a little hope for Nolan, he tears his torso apart almost completely. Definitely one of the most brutal moves Thragg has ever pulled off in the whole saga. This shit seems straight up from Mortal Kombat. So, when Mark sees the fatality his father have just received, he's filled with absolute rage and stops holding back against the Thraxans' half-breeds, destroying everyone in his path to get to Thragg. In the middle of their fight, Rudy enters the battlefield to help Mark, since he knows Thragg is also threatening Earth. Yeah, I know his name is Rex at this point, but I refuse to call him like that. Even as enemies, they're willing to put aside their differences for a moment to stop him. That's how fucked up this guy is. Mark tells him that what he's doing right now is the exact opposite of what he should be doing, ensuring the survival of his people. Not only did he kill his father and brother, everything he's doing, conquering planets and killing their former allies, is basically what pushed their race to the brink of extinction in the first place. But Thragg reveals that after every Viltrumite turned on him for being a maniac, he gave up all hope of restoring his people. And as for his Thraxan half-breed children, he doesn't really care about their lives since he can make an infinite supply of them. And sure enough, he starts casually throwing his own children to Mark like they're simple projectiles, tearing them apart like insects just to land a single hit on him. Yeah, this is just one of those fucked up moments in Invincible. We have quite a history of terrible dads in this universe, but this lunatic takes the gold medal. He doesn't just see them as less than his children. He doesn't even treat them as living beings, but as weapons of war whose only purpose is dying to strengthen his dominance and control. I've seen dudes who love their keyboard more than this guy loves his entire bloodline. Mark gets sick of Thragg splattering him with his own kids like cherry pies, so he throws himself to drag him into the sun, finally kicking off the scenery for the final battle. Mark continues asking him if he's lost all hope of restoring the Empire, then what's the point of all of this? What's the point of building an army and continue conquering planets? Of course, his answer is revenge. This dude just can't let the beef go. He never got over the fact that the very people who destroyed his planet stripped him of his place as leader after he had devoted his entire life to the Empire, just because they had the Emperor's blood in their veins. He won't stop until he has completely erased their treacherous bloodline. He tells Mark he's insane for bringing them here, that if his only wish is to do his job for him, then so be it. He starts flying away, thinking Mark will stay there, burning to death. But suddenly he grabs Thragg from behind, telling him he's not leaving here alive, that even if killing him ends up killing Mark too, he's not giving up. Thragg remains quite confident in his physical superiority against Mark, saying he'll always welcome a good challenge. When he goes for a strike at his face, Mark dodges it, realizing he isn't as fast as he used to be. Thragg grabs him by the neck, saying he's just trying to take him by surprise, and throws him towards the core of the sun, still confident in how dumb this fight really is. He manages to stop before reaching the core, and not letting himself get distracted by the pain of his burning back, he quickly charges at Thragg again. He learns his transmitter is broken when Thragg tells him he won't be able to hear his last words. words. But they both agree that words don't matter anymore. Thragg says he doesn't want to keep hearing his complaints about what he should be doing or how things should be. While he keeps yapping about why Mark was destined to die from the moment he was born, his face suddenly changes to terror as he realizes what Mark was really trying to do all this time. Both of them fall into the sun's core, with temperatures so high their skin starts completely melting away. Thragg actually seems scared for once as he realizes how he underestimated the grandson of Argal. And this part, his inner monologue as he continues brutally fighting Thragg, is what makes this my favorite battle in Invincible. So I'll quit the yapping and will actually narrate for once.
I wish you could hear me, because I just figured out why I'm going to win, and you're definitely going to lose. You're fighting for revenge, so you can be the best, so you can lead. You're fighting for nothing. I'm fighting for my family, my people, our people, your people. Hell, even your army that's fighting against me. I want all of this to stop. I want all of us to live. My father, I yelled at him for letting you live, but I see now that's when he proved he was a leader. You sorry sack of shit. You never saw our potential. Oh God, do you know what this means? Do you get it? My enemy has sent his outermost protective shell to help me. I only wish I knew how to use this thing. It has weapons that could hurt even you. Still, this will protect me for a few moments before it completely melts. Where is your help? Your own children aren't coming to help you, are they? No one cares about you. Each punch I throw has the weight of everyone I love and everyone who loves me behind it. You feel the force of who I'm fighting for with every blow. Your punches have nothing behind them but your own strength, because you're a viltrumite who clings to the old ways. You value and respect only strength. You feel only the strong deserve to live. You cling to practices that pushed our people to the brink of extinction. You see us as people living only for conquest, measured only by the size of our empire. No room for peace, no room for compassion, no room for love. You thought you were keeping the empire alive, pulling us back from the brink of extinction. The truth is, you were holding us back. Under your leadership, the viltrumites stood for nothing, fought for nothing, just like you. Look at what they became under my father's leadership. Look at how they transformed. You can't see it. You can't allow yourself to see it, but it's there. They're here. They're fighting for Earth, for their families there. It isn't a huge shift, but it's there. It shows the potential of what the Viltrum Empire can be. It proves there was compassion in our people, always there beneath the surface, buried under all that strength and fury. It's there, waiting to be nurtured so it can grow. We can be a force for good. We can spread peace throughout the galaxy. We can love and be loved. We can be happy. Like I said, I wish you could hear me. But now you're dead, and I'll soon follow. My mind is racing, thinking of the potential for what we could achieve. If only I could live to see it.
You can't look me in the eyes and tell me this shit wasn't fire, literally. Every single line from Mark in this scene reflected how emotionally invested he was in this fight. It was no longer just about protecting his loved ones. It was about protecting the legacy of the Viltrum Empire, including not only the purebloods, but even Thragg's own children from the very guy who was supposed to preserve them. I'd like to think his determination was the main reason he won. Rex's armor helped him a lot, but I feel like this was more of a mental humiliation for Thragg. Just imagine that. The enemy of your enemy should be your friend, right? But this time, even they are trying to kill you. You've simply got no one left at this point. Throughout the comic, Thragg was shown as a prodigy of strength among the Viltrumites. There was no way Invincible could ever surpass him, right? Except when you know you can't lose because the fate of the universe is on your hands. The motivation of fighting to protect others will always outweigh the motivation of fighting just for revenge. Invincible versus Thragg is, in essence, a duel between a man who has nothing to lose and a man who has everything to lose. Mark pushed not only his body, but also his mind to the absolute limit. He was literally throwing punches while his skin melted off from the extreme heat of being in the fucking sun's core. If that's not the most insane pain tolerance in the world, then I don't know what is. Considering all the beatings Mark had to endure throughout the series, I dare to say he developed a pain tolerance even greater than Thragg himself. And let's talk about the setting. What could be more epic than a deathmatch in literally the hottest place in the universe? I don't know if anyone else has pointed this out, but this specific panel reminds me of Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan's legendary duel in Revenge of the Sith, which casually occurs in a literal lava planet. Lesson of the day? If you want an epic and glorious battle, put it in the hottest place possible for the characters. I still find Thragg's ending somewhat tragic though. Let me explain. Despite being ruthless from the start, Thragg honestly seemed like a reasonable leader in his early appearances. But then he found out about Mark and Nolan having royal blood. That made him lose his shit. And all the other viltrumites, Thragg, Lucan, even fucking Anissa, despite coming from the same purge the weak mentality, eventually managed to become decent people on Earth. But Thragg was just too pure, or rather, too stubborn to do the same. He completely refused to abandon the old ways, even as he watched everyone else choosing to change their ways and follow Nolan. All of this turned him into a deranged maniac by the end. There was nothing really forcing him to attack Nolan and Mark, but he simply couldn't let the beef go, so he got exactly what he deserved. But anyway, that's Invincible versus Thragg's finale for you all, and why I consider it one of the most epic final battles of all time. If you want to see a video on why the Viltrumite Purge is the dumbest event in the whole series, or just want to keep hearing me roast Thragg about what a shitty leader he was, click this video. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.